Assalamualaikum and good day, students. This is Puan Emawati. I'm gonna use this video to cover the introduction of our 7th chapter, which is determinants of output and market structure. So this is going to be our last chapter for this subject for this sem. So in this chapter, we are going to cover quite a huge areas of subchapter. So it will actually cover 4 subchapters, which is to represent the 4 market structures that we have in this topic, which are perfect competition, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, and monopoly. So you can find the notes, you can find the readings for this chapter in your book at these pages. Okay, so it starts from page 240 until 308. Okay, so let's go straight to the first part of the chapter, which is on the definitions of market structures. So we knew that there are 4 types of market structure worldwide. Okay, and we have actually have these 4 market structures practiced in our country. So if you want to discuss further on this market structure, I think it is much easier if you get a view, if you get a model of businesses that is in these categories of market structure, so that you can use them as an example, so it will make it easier for you to make the correlations between the topic that we are discussing with the real company that we are having in this in our country. Okay, so let's start with the definitions for perfect competition, which is also known as a perfectly competition. So it is a market with large number of firms selling identical or homogeneous product. So a business is called a perfect competition if it has these characters. Actually, we have more than this, but we are using some of these characters to define perfect competition. So we can see here some of the terms that might be quite alien, that quite new for you to understand. So we are going to use this video to discuss on those terms. So it is a market with a large number of firms selling identical homogeneous product. Ia adalah pasaran di mana ia terdiri daripada bilangan firma yang banyak. Okay, so there is a large number of firms under this perfectly competition, and these firms would sell an identical or homogeneous product in the business. I'm going to discuss briefly the meaning of identical or homogeneous product once we have come into the definitions for monopolistic competition. So I'm going to hold this first. So these are actually the examples of businesses that can be categorized under perfectly competition. So we have farmers, okay, we have rubber plantation, farmers producing vegetables or crops or flowers, okay, anything that been planted, okay, commercialized and sold in the market. So it is considered as a farmers, okay? Mereka-mereka yang menanam tumbuh-tumbuhan atau yang untuk jadikan sebagai sumber-sumber makanan, okay? Itu adalah farmers. And then we have rubber plantations, okay? Business that produce rubber, okay? And then we have fishermen, okay? Those who caught any kind of seafood, so the product might be the products are fish, okay, clam, anything seafood lah. You can get example on that, okay. Okay, and next type of definitions for market structure, we have monopolistic competition. So it is a market with large number of firms selling differentiated with close substitute product. Ia adalah pasaran, okay, ia adalah perniagaan di mana bilangannya adalah banyak. Okay, there is a large number of firms under monopolistic competition, but not as large as perfectly competition. So if you look in the market, okay, in our market itself, in Malaysia market, actually the numbers of firms under the first category, perfectly competition, is so very huge, okay, compared to monopolistic competition. We're going to discuss about this matter. How does it happen? Why does it happen? Okay, what makes perfectly competitions? The numbers are huge compared to monopolistic competition. So we're going to cover those later lah. Okay, so a market with large number of firms selling differentiated with close substitute product. Bilangan firma yang banyak yang menjual barang-barang yang boleh dibezakan, differentiated. Okay, tetapi mempunyai persamaan yang rapat antara produk-produk yang lain. You can tell the difference of this product based on some of the characters, okay, some of the uniqueness that this company had, okay, that you can use it to tell the difference between one product with another product. Okay, so those are differentiated product. So I have come up with a few examples to discuss about the difference between identical and differentiated product. Correct. Okay, so we're going to use this slide to discuss about the difference between identical and differentiated product. So nampak donat ni nampak macam sedap je. Malam-malam ni makan donat sedap. Okay. Okay, identical product. So this is the meaning. Actually you can have this meaning in the book. So please find some time. I think you have plenty of time to do the readings. Okay. So please use some of your time to do the reading, to go through the content of the book, okay, to go through all those pages of the book. So you can find, bukan you might find, you will find the definitions, the explanations on these two concepts of identical and differentiated product. Okay, apapun kita akan gunakan ni kejap untuk bincangkan perbezaannya. So identical or homogeneous product, okay. So you can have these characters in perfectly competition market. So it is a product that cannot be differentiated in form of taste, size, color, function, okay, etc, etc, etc. So this is the meaning of identical product. Products, okay, ia adalah barang-barang, okay. Products that cannot be differentiated. Barang-barang yang awak tak dapat bezakan. Okay. So they have so very close similarity. So if you put those products together, you cannot tell the difference between those products because it is so similar, because it is so identical. Okay, you cannot tell tell the difference. Okay, so the similarity might comes in form of taste, okay, rasa yang sama, size, color, function, weight, um, um, uh, the texture, okay, the size, okay, saya dah, okay. So even the price is also same, okay. Itu yang berlaku dalam identical product. So usually for identical product, usually we use examples in form of vegetables. Example, okay. So vegetables, okay, fruits, and then you have all those fish, okay, and flowers. Okay. So if you go to market, and then you intend to buy, let's say, spinach, okay, or you want to buy tofu, tofu, okay, or you want to buy fish, okay, you nak beli ikan kembung, okay. So you will find that there are quite a number of sellers in the market that selling fish, okay. Example untuk fish. Okay, so you will find that Mr. A is selling fish, okay, Mr. B is selling fish, and Mr. C is selling fish. So the fish that they are selling in the market is so very identical. You tak dapat bezakan antara ikan yang dijual oleh Mr. A, ikan yang dijual oleh Mr. B dan juga ikan yang dijual oleh Mr. C. Okay, semuanya sama. Rasa, kalau you rasa pun rasa dia sama. Okay, size-nya sama. Dia punya rupa, bentuk dia semuanya sama. So itu adalah identical product. You cannot tell the difference. Okay, even if you ask the price, you ask Mr. A, what is the price of this 1 kilo of ikan kembung? You ask Mr. A, and then Mr. A will say, oh, 1 kilo 5 ringgit ma. He said. And then you go to Mr. B. Oh, Mr. B pun said, oh, 1 kilo is 5 ringgit. Dia cakap kat awak. So same price. So this is the features of identical product in the market. Okay, it has same function, okay, it has same features, and the price is also same. Okay, so we have this example here. Okay, I have come up with this example of donut. So same situation. The donut sold by Makcik A and Makcik B and Makcik C. Kak Kia, okay, Kak Kia is also selling donut. Okay, Makcik Tipah is also selling donut. Okay, Madam Chow is also selling donut. Okay, so they get it from one supplier. So this is why they have a same feature, same size, same taste, okay, of donut in the market. Okay, so you cannot tell the difference. Okay, same goes to the this donut. Okay, since you cannot tell the difference between the donut sold by different sellers, so we are saying that donut is an identical product. Okay, janji you tak dapat bezakan antara barang yang dijual oleh different sellers. Okay, now let's look at the definitions for differentiated product. So we have these features in monopolistic competition market. So differentiated with close substitute products are products that has a difference, okay, between the others. You can tell the difference. You can tell the difference of this product with the product that is sold by different companies, okay, by different firms. You can tell the difference. Okay, so the difference may come in many form. Okay, so some of the difference comes in form of labeling, okay, packaging, branding, model or representative that represent that goods, okay, and then after sale services. So these are some of the features that you can use to tell the difference between one product sold by one company with another product sold by another company. Okay, so this is what we said a differentiated product, barang-barang yang dapat dibezakan. Okay, so just now I have used this example of donut as an example for identical product, homogeneous product. Okay, so I have come up with same product, same output, same thing, okay, which is also a donut but with brand. Okay, makin lapar awak tengah-tengah malam ni tengok donut ni. Okay, so you can see here, this is a donut by Dunkin Donut. Okay, so Dunkin Donut is also selling donuts. Okay, they have donuts as a main product in the business. Okay, so you can see the difference between this identical product that has no brand, okay, no packaging, they don't even have any advertising, okay, they don't have any unique features that you can use to that can be used as an image for this donut. Okay, and then we have this Dunkin Donut. By looking at label itself, okay, by looking at the label itself, you can tell straight away that this is Dunkin Donuts. So if this product has unique features, if this product has unique image that we can use to address the donuts that is belong to Dunkin Donut, so we are saying that this donut, okay, sold by Dunkin Donuts is a differentiated product. Barang-barang yang dapat dibezakan. Okay, so the difference for this example, the difference comes in form of branding. Branding adalah untuk Dunkin Donut. And then you can also see the difference in form of packaging. Okay, and then labeling. And then also they also have advertisement. Okay, so this will give unique features for this donut by Dunkin Donut. Okay, so yeah, so you know that Dunkin Donut, Dunkin Donut is selling very good and very tasty donut. So it gives unique characters. So it is a differentiated product. So we compare with the other brand, which is Big Apple. I think I should make it here. I should put it here. Okay, alright. So now let's compare the difference between Dunkin Donuts and Big Apple. Okay, so you can see the difference. You can tell the difference between donuts from Dunkin Donuts and the donuts, okay, sold by Big Apple. So the difference comes in form of labeling. Nampak label dia berbeza. Okay, branding, branding pun lain. Ini Dunkin Donuts. Okay, these donuts are Dunkin Donuts. Okay, and these donuts are from Big Apple. Nampak beza dia. And even these two companies have a different they have unique features for the donuts that they are selling. Okay, you can tell the difference in form of different taste. Okay, ada setengah orang suka Dunkin Donut, ada setengah orang suka Big Apple. Okay, in form of a flavor, difference in form of flavor, difference in form of decorations. Okay, you might find that some of the flavors in Big Apple is not sold, it's not there, it's not offered in Dunkin Donuts. Itu adalah dia punya karakter, keunikan. So once you can tell the difference in between two products, okay, the difference that comes in form of different labeling, different packaging, okay, different offers, different taste, okay? So we are saying that these products are differentiated products. Okay, and these features you can find it in monopolistic competition market. Okay, so I hope those explanation is enough for you to tell the difference between identical product and differentiated product. So for monopolistic competition, so since this company has its own brand, okay, has its own character, so you can also see the examples for monopolistic competition. So these are some of the examples. Okay, so we have Gardenia, Massimo, Tesco, Sunshine, bakery shops. Okay, any names of bakery shops. Okay. Roti Boy is also a brand. Aeon is also a company. So when Aeon has a label, awak boleh nampak Aeon ada label dia. So itu ada, ia adalah differentiated product. But Aeon comes in form of services, okay? Services that can be differentiated. Blah 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 blah. So these are the examples lah. Okay. But if we look at the examples for perfectly competition, farmers as a general. Rubber plantation as a general, okay, fishermen as a general, and then those who sell pisang goreng, those who sell burger, okay, as a general. They don't have their own brand. So when they don't have their own brand, so we are saying that that company, that firm is a perfectly competition market. Alright, okay. Okay, next we have another two types of market structure. We have oligopoly and monopoly. So this is the definition for oligopoly. Bukan oligo coco, oligo coco tu nama brand untuk coklat. Okay, oligopoly. So it is a market with few number of firms selling identical or differentiated product. Okay. So we can see here the features for oligopoly. The number of firms categorized that can be categorized under oligopoly. Okay, the number is few. Bilangannya adalah sedikit. For these two, the numbers are large. Bilangannya adalah banyak. You pergi mana-mana, you jumpa kedai runcit. Kedai runcit adalah contoh monopolistic competition. You pergi mana-mana, you jumpa makcik-makcik, okay, kakak-kakak yang menjual pisang goreng, yang menjual nasi lemak pagi-pagi, okay, yang menjual air-air. Mereka semua adalah perfectly competition. Okay. And then oligopoly, you can tell the difference. Okay, I'm sorry. You can count the numbers by looking at the industries. So if you can still remember, in our previous topic, we have briefly discussed the difference between firm and industry. So when we talk about industry, we are actually talking about group of firms that we can categorize, that we can see the connections between these groups that is selling same product. Okay, so example, we have textile industry, we have automobile industries, we have telecommunication industries. So if you look at the numbers of firms under those industry, for some industry, the number of firms are very few. Bilangannya adalah sangat sedikit. Okay, so example here we have this industry of petrol. Okay, petrol industry. So these are the examples of firms under petrol industry. Mereka-mereka yang menjual minyak petrol. So examples are Petronas, Caltex, Petron, Shell, Mobil, BH Petrol, Bura Oil. Okay, so you list them down. Okay, you list those companies down, and you find that the company is small. Okay, the number of company is small based on branding. Maybe not more than 10. Some only 5, some only 2. Okay, so you can count the number of firms under those industries. So we are saying that those firms are oligopolies. Okay, and some other examples we have here. This is for telecommunication industry. Okay, so we have examples. Okay, Maxis, Celcom, Digi, Tuntalk, OSO. Okay, Maxis 2 kali pula saya tulis Okay, yang ni, these are some of the examples that been discussed that I have discussed with your senior. So they have come up with this example. So we can see here the number is very small. Okay, maybe not thousands, maybe not hundreds. Okay, it is countable within your hand. So if it is countable, it is an oligopoly. Bilangannya adalah sedikit. Few number of firms. Bilangannya adalah sedikit. Okay. Same goes for this. Okay. Ini adalah contoh untuk industri aviation pula. So you can do your readings there. Tak cukup besar Okay. And then Astro and Enjoy. Okay. Ini adalah untuk awak punya broadcasting TV broadcasting Astro, Enjoy. Okay, so you can see here those are examples. And then we have also come up with examples of oligopolies in campus B. Okay, so we can see here we have only 3 companies. Okay, in small market of campus B, pasaran yang kecil untuk pasaran campus B. Okay, you can see here there are only 3 companies that is offering food in our campus B. So we have Canteen C, okay, Co-op, PO, and then RSS. So under smaller scope of market, we are saying that these 3 firms, these 3 companies are oligopolies in campus B. For this, okay, we are giving examples for Malaysia market, pasaran yang lebih besar. But untuk contoh yang ni, kita beri contoh untuk pasaran yang lebih kecil, iaitu untuk skop di dalam campus B sahaja. So, apapun, okay, the idea is, if you can count the number of firms that selling same product, that selling identical product, okay, so we are categorizing them as an oligopolies. Okay, alright. And then we have monopoly. The last type of market structure. So we have monopoly. So it is a market with single firm in the market that produce unique product with no substitute. Ia adalah pasaran di mana terdapat satu firma, single, one. Okay, one firm. One and only, okay? One and only firm in the market, in a market. Okay, that produce or that sell or that offer unique product or services with no substitute, dengan tidak mempunyai sebarang pesaing. Okay, a company, one and only company that produce one and only services in a market, okay, or product in a market. So ia adalah syarikat monopoli. So if you look at the Legoland, we have this Legoland. Ni masa zaman saya bagi contoh tu diwujud lagi. Sekarang you no longer can find Legoland. Legoland dah tutup. Alright. So examples here we have TNB, KTMB. Okay. So TNB is a monopoly in Malaysia that offering power supply, that produce power supply in Malaysia market. So one and only company, so it is a monopolist. And then KTMB is the only company that is offering a train route to customers in Malaysia. So you cannot find any company that is offering same services as KTMB. For long route untuk perjalanan yang panjang daripada utara sampai ke selatan, daripada Kedah, daripada Perlis, starting from Perlis until go further down to Johor, to Segamat. So the one and only route, the one and only company that is offering that train route is KTMB. So we are saying that KTMB is a monopoly for that services. But if you look at KL, you might find that we have more than one company that is offering LRT service. Ada 2 ataupun 3. Kita ada LRT Putra, ada ETS. ETS adalah untuk KTMB, I'm sorry. ETS adalah untuk KTMB. Ada beberapa company yang lain untuk perjalanan yang pendek, small route. So, itu adalah contoh untuk oligopoli. Tapi untuk long route, contoh kita adalah KTMB. And then we have also examples of Lost World of Tambun. So, this is one company that is offering this type of service in Ipoh. So, we are saying that Lost World is a monopoly in Ipoh. So if you want to give examples of a company, let's say if you want to give Lost World of Tambun as a monopoly, so you must stress the area that you are trying to cover. You must stress, you must write down, bukan stress, awak jangan stress pula. You must write down, you must give examples of the market that you are trying to cover to tell about the company of monopoly. So nampak kat sini contoh Lost World of Tambun is a monopolist, is a monopolist in Ipoh. So bila you cakap macam ni, maka saya boleh terima jawapan awak. Tapi kalau you cakap Lost World of Tambun adalah monopoli, saya akan salahkan jawapan awak. Kenapa? Sebab di Malaysia we have so many companies that is offering same services as Lost World of Tambun. Kita ada Sunway Lagoon, kalau you pergi ke Taiping, kita ada Bukit Merah, water park, we have so many water park, we have so many business like Sunway Lagoon tu ada banyak dekat Pahang pun ada, dekat Kelantan pun ada. So mereka bukan monopoli di Malaysia. Tapi kalau if you reduce the scope, if you smaller the market, you use these words, so I can accept your answer if you give this example as in your answer. So saya boleh terima jawapan awak. So so far we have discussed the definition of those four market structure that we have in our economy. So it is crucial for you to memorize the definitions and also the examples of company under those market structure. So this will conclude our discussion for this subtopic, subpart, which is on definitions. So in our next class, we are going to cover on different areas lah. So happy study, everybody. I hope this video is enough for you to understand the basic terms that always been used to discuss market structures. So jangan lupa definisi dan juga example. Dan juga jangan lupa dia punya kategori lah. So that's it for today. Sorry, bukan today. That's it for now. So Assalamualaikum and good morning. Is it morning or night? Okay. Okay, class. See you. Take care and stay safe.